One tragedy that did occur in the house that we're aware of was the death of Mary Elizabeth, who's one of Mr. Caldwell's youngest daughters. She was approximately about 7. She was playing in the winter kitchen, which is located in the lower part basement of the house. Her and her cousin were poking in the fire, as children normally do, and apparently a spark caught her dress on fire, and it became fatal to her. We don't know how long she survived. She may have lingered for a few days. She is buried here at the end of the garden along with her mother. One of the strange events that has occurred in the house has been the appearance of a little girl, which we think may be Mary Elizabeth. She's about 4 feet tall, approximately 7 years old, long white dress, long white hair, translucent. She's appeared to 3 different people on different occasions.
Here in the winter kitchen, we had been standing here. One of the other team members was using a pendulum to communicate with the spirits, particularly the spirit of Elizabeth Caldwell, who was the little girl, and she burned up in front of the fireplace here in the kitchen. And about halfway through, the kettle started to move. And nobody had touched it. We were just standing here in front of the fireplace watching it. So we took a few photos, and we got 2 orbs in the photos, and one's right above the kettle.
Just last year, she appeared to one of our volunteers as we do a ghost tour each October. And he, in fact, was so frightened from her appearance that he refused to go back into the house. I personally had the experience of seeing a ghostly shadow, human-shaped shadow, at the top of the steps, and that has happened, I think, twice.
Every Halloween, Octygon Hall hosts a fundraising haunted house and invite haunted tours and invite the public in to see. We had a volunteer that was helping last year in the closet just outside this room, was hiding in there, and whenever the tour would come through, he would, jump out and scare them. But during one of the down periods, he was sitting down inside in the room. He came running out of the basement. He said he didn't want to go back in anymore. He said what had happened, he was sitting in there with the door closed, and the door started to open. He thought it was one of us just trying to come in and tell him something. He opened it up, and all he saw was a silhouette of a little girl, just a shadowy silhouette. And then the girl just disappeared. And so that's when, of course, he refuses to come back down into the basement again.
My wife had come to clean the house up, and she had smoothed all the feather beds. She came downstairs to the office, and we were talking for a few minutes. And she came back upstairs to get her cleaning supplies, and when she did, the form had appeared in the bed again. And so that decidedly freaked her out. She had said, "We're not alone in this house, are we?" And that's one of the few things that we knew for sure that it happened.
We've also picked up EVPs, which are called electronic voice phenomenon, of voices when actually no one was in the room, and then we will ask specific questions. Many of the investigators have asked specific questions and come up with a human voice in answer.
And since I have permission, pretty much any time I like, I can pretty much come down and I can take EVPs. We've gotten several. One of them is taken upstairs in the sick room. I and one of my other investigators, named Shane Harris, was walking through the room, and I just, on a whim, just decided to ask, how many, are there any spirits in this room? If so, how many? And approximately 4 or 5 seconds later, you hear a slight whisper. It just says 2.
Are there any spirits in this room? If so, how many?